Well, good morning. This is Heather Fadden with the Women's Council of Realtors Greater Snohomish, and I am here today with Pat Good with BECU. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Heather. How are you? Good
I
to see
am
you.
good. Nice to see you too. BECU is one of our Platinum Strategic Partners with the Women's Council of Realtors. And I'm just trying to make the rounds and have a chance to sit down and chat with each of our Platinum Strategic Partners via Zoom, since we're doing things a little differently right now. So how are you holding up today or in this whole COVID thing?
Doing well. Doing well. Other than maybe the need for a haircut, I'm doing fine. As I mentioned earlier, I've commandeered my daughter's bedroom while she's away at college to set up my office, so able to get work done from here.
Good for you. So are you working primarily from home then?
I am, yes. BECU asked those employees who could work at home to do that right out of the gate, and then just try to limit staff in our locations to the essential staff. So yeah, I'm just trying to minimize contact and minimize spread. So
good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. You're doing what needs to be done, I guess. So,
Yeah.
well, how is business for you? Are you seeing a steady stream, or has it gotten more or less, or what are you seeing?
Yeah, we are seeing there's kind of three buckets of business that I would define. One of those is purchase, of course, very important. With an address, we have sort of two categories of purchase. One is purchase with an address. We have a purchase and sales agreement, and that business has slowed down a bit for obvious reasons. But we are still getting contracts, and folks are still buying, and it's just the right time for them. So that slowed a little bit. The second bucket we have is purchases, but we don't have the property yet. So these are our members who are coming to us and asking for us to take a look at the credit,
Gotcha.
The income, the assets, and the industry might call it a pre-qual or a pre-approval. So we really have everything except the property. That has really picked up. And so I think that maybe there's that demand that's there on a consistent basis, but there aren't as many conversions today. So we do have a big pipeline of members who we've sort of done that pre-homework, and now we're just ready to get out and work with your teams and land on that property, and then we can continue the process. So that's been very robust. And then the third bucket we have are the refinances. And like a lot of lenders, that has been very active. Rates historically are very low. There was quite a bit of volatility late February, early March, right when COVID-19 came out with the secondary markets and Treasury. But that's been really consistent for about the last 30 days. The bond market, the 10-year bond, has been relatively flat. So that's driven a lot of refinance inquiries with us. Yeah. So our teams are keeping busy. We're open for business. It's just a matter of how we conduct that in this environment. Yeah.
Well, now tell me also about your first-time homebuyer grants.
Yes, we have a BECU first-time homebuyer grant, and I'm thinking, remembering here, last year, 2019, we gave out about $1.6 million in grants to first-time home buyers, and the idea behind it is really to fill that gap for a member applicant who has they've got the credit taken care of, they have the income, they have the job and the employment, and the gap is just that down payment. And so you see that in other places, state bond, or there's other things, the down payment assist. But we came up with our own a couple of years ago, and It's just been a very successful program. Like any program, there are some criteria, some requirements, but they're not too stringent. And again, the maximum last year in 2016, the most we could give as a grant was 6,500.
Okay.
And again, doing the math, 1.6 million was granted last year. Now, not all of those were the 6,500. That's kind of the maximum. In 2020, we increased that to $7,500 as a maximum cap. It's sort of 2% of the loan amount, or 7,500, whichever is greater. So it's been a great program, and for some members, it's just that last puzzle piece that they need to get into a home, and so we're proud and happy to be able to offer that.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Well, what are you seeing maybe more or less of right now? Anything you say you've got more refinances coming in, maybe more pre-quals, less purchases, anything else any trends?
Not as many second home vacation properties. I think some maybe people who were in the market for that have just put it on the back burner for now. But primarily it's been increase in the refinance and that call it a pre-approval or pre-qualification process. So again, sort of waiting for what we hope will be an expanding of return to work and I guess you'd call maybe a pre-coronavirus environment where we can get out and look at homes and get offers. So we've got a lot of those folks waiting in the wings. And again, we do promote to have that part of the process taken care of. Now is a great time to do that, to gather paperwork and sort of have those documents ready in hand. We know that when it's time to move on a property, people like to move quickly, and so it really is a good time to be doing that, not only for us but for all lenders out there. So
I tell you, as an agent, it kind of, hearing you say that, kind of sparks a little giddiness inside of me too, knowing that there are these people that are behind the scenes getting ready, because what we see sometimes is just black and white. We see our pipeline, we see clients that we're working with, maybe clients that are afraid to get out and look for homes right now, want to wait, for one reason or another, are kind of pumping the brakes a little bit. But to know that maybe some of those people are behind the scenes, they're brewing something, they're getting ready, so that as we do kind of lean back into normal again, maybe we're going to see, a real wave of people getting back in the market and wanting to buy and wanting to sell. And so that's exciting for me to hear, anyway, there's something going on. So.
Well, how are property searches going for you and your team? Walkthroughs. I don't have a great understanding of it, but I understand there are parameters that people are following to be able to get in and walk through a home, take a look at it, maybe limited number. But how is business for you?
Nerve-wracking, I think, for both buyers and sellers. Sellers are leery of just strangers coming through their home, touching doorknobs, touching everything. They don't know anything about the people that are coming in to look at their homes. And so it makes home sellers kind of nervous. And it also makes home buyers a little nervous too. It's like, you don't know, who's living in this house that they're now walking into and, looking. So they've really, I'm glad that they have given some pretty strict rules for viewing homes. Only 2 people in the home at one time. Sellers are supposed to leave open doors and leave the lights on, so that really they don't need to touch anything. When they come in, they can just kind of walk through, see the home, not have to touch anything. So that makes it, good. I know for myself, I provide a box of rubber gloves outside my listing, along with little paper masks and, try and keep people coming and going as protected as they can, and feel comfortable viewing the home, and making sure that they do follow with the only 2 people in a home rule. And so definitely people are taking the safety precautions and making sure that, everybody stays healthy and safe. So,
Yeah.
and I think it's a good thing. I think even after, we can relax a little bit more, I still think that, providing maybe rubber gloves like you provide the shoe covers, just an added level of protection, just to make sure that people do stay safe and when they're looking at homes. But I am finding that a lot of people do want to view homes online. And so as an agent, you might go out and just do a virtual walkthrough with your phone, and have your buyer on the other end as you're doing your little video walkthrough. Or with my listing, I'll do some virtual open houses and let people kind of tour the home with me as I'm doing it all just virtually. So we're definitely seeing a shift in how people do things. And from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of people that are getting multiple offers on properties, and it's not just crickets out there. I mean, there's definitely activity going on in the market. So
Good.
people still need to buy, and they still need to sell, they still need to move. And as agents and as lenders, we're still out there in the front lines, if you will, just making sure that people can do this safely. So
Yeah, and it seems that striking that balance between the safety aspect, but as you said, that trying to continue with the business because the demand is there, and maybe in some cases it's more of a need than a want.
right.
For someone, maybe they're relocating, and so I think that's smart to come up with creative ways to strike that balance.
Absolutely. Well, listen, what is the best way for someone to reach you if they wanted to inquire about maybe the first-time homebuyer grant or some of the other programs, or even to pre-qualify?
Sure.
What's the best way for someone to reach you?
So I'll give you the easiest way, I think, and that is to send me an email. My email is very easy. It's Pat, P-A-T, .good, G-O-O-D, at BECU.org.
.org. Okay.
Yeah, pat.good at becu.org. And I have a team of mortgage advisors around the Puget Sound. I have some partners in other parts of the Puget Sound, and we can find the ideal person to connect them with. The reality is today we're all virtual. Normally we would try to connect someone in North Puget Sound with a mortgage advisor up there in case they do want to meet in person.
Mm-hmm.
But in today's environment, we are all working virtual. So laptops and cell phones. And so really we can connect anyone who's got the capacity and they can help out. So, but if anyone from your team or your audience were to email me, I would get them connected with someone. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, tell me, what do you see? I told you I was going to ask you this question. What's one of your silver linings that you have found by with the stay home, or with this, everything that's going on? It's got a lot of negatives that go along with it, but what's something that you have found to be a silver lining?
I thought about that for about 5 minutes. I think the silver lining, one silver lining is the innovation that has come out of this scenario. It's interesting to think about maybe the way people conduct business, or the creativity or the safety would have happened eventually, but it may have been a much longer period of time or horizon. And I think that the environment we're in has forced people and companies to just get there a lot faster. Mm-hmm. And it's been difficult in some cases, and expensive, and et cetera. But I think that people are learning. They figured out, maybe we can do this remotely or Zoom, and maybe for us in the Puget Sound, maybe we don't need as many cars on the road. So, you know, I guess in that aspect, maybe there's a silver lining in that. So.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for jumping on with me this morning. And thank you so much for being a Platinum Strategic Partner with the Women's Council of Realtors. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate your support with Women's Council. I mean, clearly 2020 has thrown us for a curve, and, you know, we're shifting gears and really trying to make sure that we can provide some great value to our members, and also, you know, give our strategic partners an opportunity to get in front of our members as well, and share some of the things that they have to offer. So hopefully we'll get back to some live events here, maybe later in the summer, early fall, and we can see you guys again face to face. But in the meantime, stay healthy, stay well, and thank you so much for jumping on this morning.
You bet, Heather. Like all the strategic partners, we're big fans of Women's Council. So thanks for letting us be a part of your organization. So
awesome. Well, thank you
care.
so much. Take care.
All right, stay well. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.